Hello everybody and welcome back to Stellaris, where we are still working on our economy. It's getting better, but we still have a ways to go. Now this construction ship actually, if I can go to it, there we go. This construction ship is actually able to put out another starbase. So I think we'll just go for this one. It's not the most efficient, but that's, I think, okay. We're gaining 3.82 influence per month. We're losing 0.25 because of our commercial pact, but I'm fine with that. The commercial pact is more for diplomatic reasons than economic ones, but the economic reasons are, in fact, helping. Let me just go up to fast speed. There we go. Now, we were also building another trade post up over in this region, and that will be done in 200 days. We did necrophage some pops as well. That's all well and good.
An unusual phenomenon.
We're going to run out of food in a few months, and there's a large impact crater that does not seem to be a natural occurrence. Okay. We'll look into it. Excellent. So, of course, this military fleet is not doing anything right now, but we also don't really have anything for it to do. I mean, we could send it out here and start clearing out some of these space amoebas and things like that, but for right now, I think we'll hold off on that. Once it becomes more of an issue, then we can work on that, for sure. I do want to continue working on our food. That is a thing that will need to happen. The ancient frozen remains of almost 1,000 aliens have been found in the vicinity of Ashamax 3. They come from over a dozen different species, and preliminary dating puts the corpses at roughly 600,000 years old, around the same time as the Cybrex machine consciousness ravaged this part of the galaxy. Fascinating. So that's another Cybrex thing. I mean, we already found the Cybrex homeworld, but we will go ahead and research that. And then we will automatically explore afterwards. We'll build those mining stations and then move over to here. Excellent. We should also start thinking about upgrading here, as well as here. We are currently lacking the alloys for that. That's okay. We'll get those. Now, this up here is our trade hub, right. Okay, there's our faction influence gain. That will be a big deal for us. Starbase cap is not currently super important. Embassy complexes, huh? Available envoys. I don't want to put too much emphasis on diplomacy for right now. I think instead maybe we'll just go for Amoeba Flagella as kind of a reroll, because none of these I'm super enthused about. I mean, fleet command limit would be nice, but we need more naval command limit more than we need fleet command limit, so I'm not too concerned. We are going to run out of consumer goods very shortly. We can just go ahead and buy in a little bit of both food and consumer goods, and that'll keep us floating for a while. Excellent. Oh, hello, Canopus Prime has a building slot available. Now, this is going to be a science world. And we are going to... Let's see, we have one housing available and no jobs currently available. Moat harvesting traps is definitely something that we're going to want. How many can we build on here? 3! I think we'll hold off on that. We are going to want to build those. I think there's no doubt about that. Requires a planetary administration. Okay, we'll go ahead and get our planetary administration, and then we'll come back to Canopus Prime. That'll be fine. 3 building slots on here going into moat harvesting. That's going to be okay. That said, we're going to need a research computer as well. And so then these would all be essentially earmarked for science. Now we can build them in whatever order we want. That'll be fine. Let's see, we're doing fine on our civilian ships for now. That's good. This construction ship is still building here. And then I think we're going to want to grab Achenar so that we can get started on this archaeological site. So that we can get the rubricator going, get that event started. The dead aliens we found above Ashamax 3 all died from vacuum exposure, and each individual had the barcode the Cybrics were known to laser onto the skin of organic captives. It seems like the Cybrics executed these aliens by spacing them, perhaps after having finished interrogations, or to keep them from escaping during some kind of rescue operation. We may never know the truth. An interesting find. Excellent. Okay, detailed surface scans of Mealy B3 have identified a large impact crater containing the wreckage of several ancient starships of unknown design. The ships appear to be completely devoid of life support systems, leading us to suspect that they were either unusually large drones or controlled by some form of artificial intelligence. Interestingly, the hull of the ships was constructed out of living metal, an exceedingly rare and inorganic material with many unique properties. This metal can be programmed to assume a certain shape or form, and it will slowly regrow itself if damaged. Over a period of several millennia, the surviving metal from the wrecked ships was fused into a large and extremely dense deposit that could potentially be mined for centuries to come. Living metal is available on Mealy B3. That's actually pretty good for us. We also have a tradition available, and as I said in the last episode, grabbing Harmony for that pop food consumption is going to be very useful into Unity of Self. So we'll grab that. Now we are delaying Ascension perks by doing this. There's no doubt about that. But we're going to be able to grab 3 Ascension perks relatively quickly once this is done. So Necrophaging pops and Demoting, that's mediocre. Ethics Attraction, Stability is good. Okay. I don't think we're going to grab anything in Supremacy yet. Domination might be a good thing to max out, though. Yeah, Domination's going to be really good for us, actually. So we're probably going to go for Domination after we grab the Unity of Self. We'll grab that, and then Domination, max that out, and then we'll probably just work on maxing these out, and then grab Supremacy for all of our Ascension perks. That'll be a ways in the future, of course. So that is fine. This construction ship has finished up over here. We actually don't quite have the influence for this. Oh, hello, new aliens in Biden. Let's go ahead and get those investigated. While it cannot be denied that the intoxicating effects of Ebenar Prime's atmosphere are enjoyable and even helpful in some cases, there is pressure from the more conservative parts of the Grim Council to crack down on the possibly addictive gases. So we could remove the hallucinogen from Ebenar Prime, which of course is this colony, which I'm not interested in doing. This would, of course, become an absolutely fantastic science world, and I did not put a closing parenthesis there. There we go. Excellent. That sweet, sweet physics research from Jobs. Excellent. How are we doing on the population on Sridma? Okay, we're getting slightly better here. We do have a clerk and a necrophyte job available. Okay. That's fine. Interior imaging of Shiblar 4A suggests massive underground caverns wait below the planet's surface. They may be worth investigation, and so we shall. Excellent. So we are currently gaining 4.36 influence per month, so that's great. I do want to get this starbase building, and we probably are going to have this construction ship available for work soon. We'll just get that started moving over to Zoltan. We'll not have the influence for a little while to grab that just yet. Okay, that seems good. Now, this station over here, we definitely do need to get a pair of trade hubs in. We still do not have the technology for increasing our trade value yet via buildings, so we're just going to leave that empty for now. Although, maybe we shouldn't. Buildings are unique, so we're going to have empty building slots in these likely anyway, So with our current massive food shortage, the question becomes, why not build hydroponics bays? 1 energy credit for 3 food. Are we better off just trading for it? The current cost is 1.7 for, or 1.3 energy credits for 1 food. We are absolutely not better off buying this. Okay. Good to know. So yeah, let's go ahead and get a couple of those up. Now, this starbase here is going to be a defensive starbase. So that's going to be a thing. And the secondary defensive starbase here I think will be at Crash, probably. So yeah, let's go ahead and get these hydroponics bays in. We're going to have extra building slots anyway in these trade hubs. So that'll help offset our food costs a little bit. It will cost us a little bit on the energy credits, but that is expected. Now then, I think we should probably put in the research lab. Let's see, when are we able to put in those research computers? I feel like we researched that technology, but maybe it's just not available yet, or maybe we haven't finished it. Research institutes. Yeah, okay. Good to know. So we haven't finished it yet. 24 months on that. Sounds good. We could potentially consider moving some pops over to Threadma. That said, that's expensive. The reports of strange, free-floating crystal-like structures observed in certain systems have been investigated. The ship-size objects and their slightly smaller but equally crystal-like satellites at first appeared inert, but sudden shifts in their orientation relative to our ships and new energy signatures emerging from within the prisms indicate that they're reacting to the presence of Grim ships. The nature and origin of these crystals elude us at present, but there is something in their shape, their pristine angles, that resonates with the Grim soul. The Grim Council ought to take a step back and observe from a respectful distance. And that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to do a crystalline study. 15 months, which will delay our research institutes, but that's fine. We're not waiting on research institutes currently because we are unable to build any. Because this building slot is not going to be available. What we're lacking now more than anything is just pops. Which, as I said, is part of the reason why we're settling every planet we possibly can. Gotta get those sweet, sweet pops in somehow. Okay, so that's the construction finishing up. Okay, we will definitely grab that research station and that mining station, and then we will make our way up over to Sechula. Excellent. So we're definitely going to be lacking in influence here for 2 construction ships, but that's not that big of a deal. What is this hostile fleet? Space amoebas. Those are not space amoeba hunters. So they're not going to... Oh, they are going to attack us. Okay. Well, get out of there, science ship. It got out of there. Perfect. It'll come back eventually. De facto galactic trade, unbound by the performance of international diplomacy, has existed since we first discovered that we're not alone in the universe. As new borders are discovered and old ones redrawn across the galaxy, galactic leaders agree that it is time to legitimize this commercial forum so that all may benefit. In the coming years, independent traders and government agencies will be looking to establish a quasi-centralized hub for galactic commerce. We would surely benefit were this hub to fall within Grim space, so we can choose to promote one of our worlds for this purpose. I suspect that we're not going to do so. Now we can activate the Cybrex Warforge if we wanted. That's a lot of minerals and influence for a lot of alloys. Very nice. And just that passive 5% alloy buff. I like that. That's very nice. We're not going to do that right now, obviously. Now, as far as promoting one of our worlds for the galactic market, I think it's pretty unlikely that we get it anyway. Let's see, where do we see that? Yeah, that's not formed yet. So, like, for example, if we were to promote our capital for that. Let's see, that's probably a decision, if I recall correctly. That's a lot of influence. The market is fickle, but we might be able to get it later. I think we're not going to push for that right now, just because that's really not our focus. We'll participate in the galactic market, but we're not too concerned about it. 15 trade value from Canopus, that's nice. That's very nice, actually. Okay, so where are our construction ships right now? You're building that station, that's fine. And this construction ship is simply traveling. Well, we're at 163 influence right now, so we can definitely afford to put up the starbase on Zoltan, and so we shall. Excellent, and I think we can even afford to queue that one up. And indeed, we definitely can. That will be absolutely fine. Let's check in on our colonies here. None of them are appearing to really need much of anything. 2, 6, 3, 13, 12, 10, 22, 5, and 43. Okay, so we're going to be getting some new building slots coming in pretty soon. I don't think it's tremendously necessary that we move any pops around right now. We have no unemployment, so I just don't want to mess with it right now. Our science officer has found an anomaly, and we're going to look into that. Excellent. Okay, we can grab these 2 science points and these 6 minerals, which we definitely will do. That is 100% guaranteed. Yeah, still 3 farmer jobs available on Canopus Secundus, so that'll be nice. Having probed the frozen landscapes of the planet Rundor 2, we think we've struck something big. Science Officer Cornyn speaks of a bacterial life form, unlike any other. It bonds with other individuals to form large blankets that are durable, yet light, and also act like solar cells. They absorb solar energy with a surprisingly low efficiency loss percentage, most likely a result of evolution favoring those who could gather more heat in the harsh climate. Our researchers back home could surely find some use of this information. Yeah, we're going to see if we can produce, or rather improve, energy production. That could be a big, big gain for us. We're currently gaining 13 energy credits per month. That will come down. Space Pirates. Okay. We are patrolling that system, but I guess we aren't patrolling it frequently enough. I mean, this is a really long patrol, that is true. As interstellar trade between our systems continues to grow, a large group of faithless criminals from Azure Chalice have illegally converted a number of civilian starships into weapons of war. These heretics have started calling themselves the Regulators, and are responsible for several attacks against our vulnerable trade routes in the Atlas. Their profane activities must not be allowed to continue, and indeed they will not. We happen to have this fleet right here. This fleet is 342 in strength. We'll just go ahead and do a quick reinforce here. We'll get ourselves another ship. Our energy development researchers have made progress with the samples we sent them from Rundor 2. They have been able to develop a new type of solar cell using the organisms as a template. They're much more efficient at storing energy and will provide a boost to all our power plants. Excellent. 5% energy credits from jobs. And we're down to -1. It fluctuates wildly, but with the way that pops move around in this game.
A special project.
Crystalline entities are unbreakable. The crystalline entities are probably alive. A perhaps more descriptive name for them is silicate animate matter, as they have little in common with biological or traditionally artificial life. The entities do not seem to mate, and we've yet to observe any crystals that are recognizably older or younger than others. Contrary to an early hypothesis, the shifts in hue between individual crystalline entities seem related not to their age, but to their latent internal charge, which can be violently unleashed. And it appears as though sporadic fluctuations in this charge alter the refractive properties of the crystal. Okay, another 5% energy credits from jobs. We're taking that. Definitely. Now, we are going to run out of energy credits, food, and consumer goods soon. Again, as I said, this is almost certainly due to a reshuffling of jobs. That's what tends to happen anyway. So this shipyard is currently done. And that means that these guys... Well, that's interesting. They're at 399. These are at 424. Fascinating. Regardless, we're probably... That's 474. Plus they have a base of operations somewhere. That said, they are fighting our station here. So I think that's fine. We'll go ahead and do that. And the question is, where exactly is their base? Possibly Cybrex Alpha, maybe somewhere around here. We'll find out eventually. How's this battle going? I'd like to select these guys. Thank you. Okay. They are going to take out that station, it looks like. But they've taken losses. And here are our reinforcements. Coming in now. There's their base. Actually, these space leviathans are going to kill their base for us. That's nice. We may end up losing this fleet, now that I think about it. We'll see. They did lose a lot of armor. Yeah, we're winning. We had a couple of losses. We also necrophaged a few pops, so that's nice.
An anomaly has been discovered.
Now, we're picking up what may be a faint transmission coming from somewhere deep inside the atmosphere of this gas giant. That's probably somebody trying to communicate. We'll take a look. We'll also move up here and build a starbase. This science ship is not sciencing, so let's have it go science. Excellent. Now let's check in on this battle, which definitely could be going better. I'm not sure how many of these ships were emergency warp outs and how many were actually lost. It looks like we actually did lose a Corvette. Okay. And the Leviathans killed the base for us. So that's nice of them. Now, this construction ship has finished up here, so we'll build that mining station. Excellent. This starbase, of course, isn't really doing much right now. We may want... It would be a temporary thing if we built a hydroponics bay here, because all of our buildings on these defensive stations will be utilized. That said, I kind of don't want to build them yet because they are quite a bit of upkeep. So I think we'll hold off on that for now and just leave that empty for the time being. Oh, hello. Batrac Prime requires housing. Now, this is going to be a power generation world. What that generally means is we're going to be going heavily into the generator districts. And in terms of buildings, we're probably going to be required to get housing here. Luxury residences, perhaps. We're going to need a single energy grid. That's going to be the next building that we get here. But other than that, I think we're going to have to go for luxury residences. They do cost 2 power upkeep, but that is absolutely fine because technicians produce plenty. So we're going to make a generator district, not for the housing, but for the jobs. Excellent. The From Beyond has picked up some curious readings from Galarum 4. There are significant pockets of radiation in the gas giant's atmosphere that appear to be the result of intense orbital bombardment. What someone could hope to gain by bombing a gas giant from orbit remains a mystery, however. As the From Beyond was preparing to break orbit, Science Officer Diozen discovered a weak signal coming from the planet's interior. It may be a transmission of some kind, but the gas giant's background radiation makes it difficult to isolate. We could investigate it, and so we shall. So, let's just get that done. Excellent. And with that, it is pretty much time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And next episode, we are going to continue clawing our way out of the economic woes that we found ourselves in, but we're doing pretty well on that front. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and I will see you all next time.